Jahmez, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brad.
I want to know what your story is. Where did you come from? Why did you decide to get into music?
Like fresh out the pussy, or like starting at what point? I started off as a young man of God. I was in church. I was supposed to be a preacher. I was a little boy. I think I was in Sunday school till I was like 13, some shit like that. I'm still like spiritual and shit like that, but the story of Jahmez is a little bit more wild. I think like the concept of me has been with bitches and my journey with bitches. I lost my virginity in college.
Okay.
That was the shit. I can't even lie to you. My first day of college, no, second. Because what happened was the first day I met she had a boyfriend. So she wasn't my girlfriend.
Did you know she had a boyfriend?
Absolutely. I met her boyfriend and everyone on the first day. Cause like you know how like drop off day like family members still there. Yeah. Like I met all like her whole family. Cause I was like walking around it was like a big ass field in the middle of the campus, and when they were doing like parent drop offs, whatever the case may be, my family was like walking out as hers was walking in. So I had just got done setting up my room, whatever the case may be, and you know like everybody's just randomly talking to people, and I was a weird kid. It was strange, but I stole her phone. I stole the girl's phone, and I ran. And I didn't see the girl for like another 2 or 3 hours. It's like, oh my god, this guy stole. But I was just playing around. So when I wound up giving her phone back, is when her family was leaving, and I guess she didn't tell her family that her phone was stolen, whatever the case may be. Anyways, we went out to a party that night. I went to her room. She didn't let me fuck her. I didn't have a condom, but then I got a condom, and it was a latex condom, and she was allergic to latex. So I couldn't fuck her. So then the next day, I was like, I fucked everything up, bro. I'm like, damn, like I hated I tell you, like that whole day, I was supposed to be worried about like how to get to my classes, and like, cause you know, like we had 3 days before classes started, so it was like orientation shit going on, and instead of giving a fuck about orientation, I think I even missed the first 20 minutes of freshman orientation, bro. I was like, damn, bro, I fucked up everything. It was like my first college moment. I couldn't fuck. So then that day I dedicated to finding lambskin condoms off campus. And I didn't even know they had them, because I was like, yo, are there condoms without latex? Boom. So I found them. And that was the start of like the only Jahmez you see today. Because after like that night when we fucked, I got addicted. And I didn't, yo, you know, like your first time having sex, you think, yo, you might nut quick, or like it might not be, like, you know, how was your first time having sex?
It actually lasted pretty long. I mean, maybe it was because I was a little bit anxious and nervous. I don't know the exact reason, but it was a pretty long first experience. But yes, obviously a lot of people have that. Well, it's like you do it for like 5 seconds. You're like, oh shit.
That wasn't me either. It was like, it had to be at least 45 minutes. But then what was different, for me at least, I took the condom off, and like I was just so excited, I just put my dick back in. I was like, you're my girlfriend now. So I didn't know what else to do, bro. And after that, I was just fucking, bro. I just started fucking every day. And I had my music equipment and stuff like that. So at first, like when I was like kind of indulging into my newly found habits, I totally disregarded music. I was just fucking, and I was doing good schoolwork. She was trying to I think she wound up graduating. I dropped out, but I was just fucking. Like, I was fucking and being a boyfriend, or what I thought a boyfriend was. And then she cheated on me. But it wasn't really cheating, because she just had sex with her boyfriend. So it was like, I took it as cheating, but now looking back at it, I don't really think I could call that cheating. I think she was cheating with me, and you know, but I felt like I was cheated on. So then that's when I started making music was my outlet for that, and I was just dissing bitches.
So what was your mindset with that? Because obviously there's 2 standpoints of this. There's actually there's not just 2. There's a big gray area, but the general 2 would be, if she has a boyfriend, I'm not gonna have sex with her. You were obviously on the side where if she has a boyfriend, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person where I wouldn't do that, right? So what is the mindset that you have that, you know, is it like, well, it's fine, it doesn't matter, if someone else is going to do it? Like, what's your standpoint on that?
Like, I almost look at it like, because I've had different phases of life, honestly. I'm more mature than I was then. I still would have done it, honestly. I continue to fuck girls with boyfriends. I don't stop. And I do that because one, I feel so like one, we're in like this world where it's like everybody's in their own world. So I mean, like I could see you, I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, but you don't know what the fuck you look like in my eyes. Like even if you think you do, like I really cannot tell you what I look like to you, or vice versa. So I just be like, well, if she wants to let me have sex with her and it's consensual, I'm not manipulating this girl into saying yes. I may manipulate myself into a position for her to say yes. But if she's fairly saying, yo, you could fuck me, or you like this, and your boyfriend is disregarding, maybe they're not the best, maybe they don't have the best relationship. Maybe he's abusing her. Or maybe she just doesn't like him anymore. If anything, I feel as though you can't you should not be so hard on yourself in those situations, because it's not about you. It's not about her. It's about you. It's like that's your decision to have sex with her, and that's her decision to have sex with you. She knows her life. You know yours. So whatever decision she's got, like when I nut and I'm done and I walk away, if I don't see that girl tomorrow, she's not in my world anymore. Or if she texts me, like, you know what I mean, like I feel like even you, right? We're talking, we're making shooting the thing, right? This is something that now we're both in each other's world, and digitally one day we'll be able to access it forever. We will always have a common relationship. But like when I walk out of this room, you might not ever see me again. Right. That's fucked up. But it's not really like fucked up. You get what I'm saying? Like
it's like not anything personal you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's not like I feel as though it's wrong. Like say like I know Brad, and I know you have a girlfriend, and then I go and fuck your girlfriend, but I know you're in my world, and we're sharing the world together. Then I feel like that's wrong. Okay. But if I met Brad one time and his girlfriend's bad as fuck, and then I never got to see Brad again, and then she's at a party and she's like, oh my god, I want to fuck you, and I'm like, I'm not saying I would fuck your girlfriend, but you get what I'm saying? I'm just saying like I think it's like that's the other person's fault. So I don't see the person. I just see the person as an accessory to it. Sometimes that's wrong.
That's an interesting perspective. I mean, there's also like there's always the conversation of, you know, usually when people cheat, they're already checked out of the relationship, right? People would argue, psychologically speaking, more on the women's side than others. Now, some people.
Well, when women cheat, they're checked out of a relationship. When
right.
Men cheats. Men, I feel like
not necessarily, but it's possible.
I feel like fucking a girl is no different than jerking off.
Yeah. So this is the interesting perspective, because there's a lot of research that indicates both of these sides, and people will debate it till the end of eternity, I'm sure. But the general theory, which we're both aware of, is a lot of the time people can say, well, if a man cheats on his girlfriend, the relationship is still potentially salvageable. Not 100% definitely, but it's possible. When a woman cheats, it's like she's completely checked out, it's emotional. And now I don't have a complete standpoint on this myself, but to play devil's advocate or to defend that standpoint, I know how I think as a man. If I've never done this, I don't believe I ever will, but if I was in a loving relationship and I was out somewhere and I ended up hooking up with another girl, when I would finish, I have no emotional attachment to this girl, to the point of I'd never see her again, I wouldn't care at all, right? Yeah. And the psychological standpoint with that is men are able to have sex non-emotionally, whereas women not necessarily can't, but it's in our wiring. For example, the love bonding hormone oxytocin, which is released highly during sex, is very much released when women are doing it. Men, not so much.
But see, like the thing is, some women are heartless. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, like, I think that when women truly give themselves to a man, it's different. Like, at the end of the day, I feel as though more women should take on the ideal of letting their significant others fuck other women, either with them or accompany to them, or just act like they don't know it exists. Because women, I feel as though this generation is more about control and ownership versus emotions. Because everything that we do is damn near based off of the reactions of other people. Like, I know girls that if you cheat on them and they don't know about it, it's not like they're gonna feel like you cheated on them, but if their friend tells them about it, then they're gonna feel embarrassed. That's different than like a girl confiding in a man, like why she's with you, and like she's like, oh, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, or I don't know, and then she fucks him, and then when she's fucking, he's slapping the shit out of her, spitting on her, like all type of crazy shit. That's a different kind of thing, and I think like whatever, what's the chemical you said is really?
Oxytocin.
I think that just depends on the sex, because I mean like a girl might fuck a dude and might have a lot of oxytocin release versus fucking another dude and it's like a whole bunch of that shit. Yeah. I just think it's more so situational.
Yeah. Okay. In your experience with having sex pretty often, a lot of people would say you can be addicted to sex and it's not good. Other people would say it's fine. What has been your experience and perspective? Have there been times where you're having a lot of sex and you're like, well, I'm not sure if I should be doing this, or you're completely like, I'm all in on this, or what's your perspective?
Like in the beginning, having sex felt like imagine you were a fish, right? And you were swimming in the ocean for years, just like years, and you were like, one day I just want to be on land. The sex for me was like, yo, nigga, I can breathe. I'm on land. Like, I'm a fish, but I'm on Earth now. Like, and like, I've never really left that. I would say, like, I mean, like for me, like I'm a sex addict, but it's not excessive. Like meaning like throughout the day, I probably gotta like nut like 3 or 4 times. Like, and I don't have to have sex. I can just go in the bathroom and jerk off. Like I'll do that frequently. I'll just go to the bathroom and jerk off just so I can focus. Like I don't think it's anything wrong with that if it's in the right means. Now I think it's something wrong with being like a pervert. Like I'm not gonna look at girls and be like, and then like make them uncomfortable. But I think like sex is like the one drug, I would say, or like that release is like the one drug that I feel like is harmless as long as you're not like you can't like be doing some important shit and in the middle of some important shit stop and be like, yo, I gotta go fuck. I've had that problem. I call that like my overdosing period. Like that's the time I'm fucked up. Like I'll stop everything. I don't give a fuck just for sex. Yeah. So I haven't been like that in a couple years now, and that's only like I think that's when it gets bad. Okay. I don't see anything wrong with being addicted to a good time. Okay.
See, your perspective is very interesting because it's not too often that I hear this. Yeah. So I think so. For example, for me personally, of course, everybody's situation is different. If I jerk off 9 times out of 10, I feel like shit after. I feel like my energy is drained. I feel like I just want to go to bed. Obviously, it seems like for you, it's kind of just getting that release and then okay, I can focus again. For me, that doesn't really happen. There's this you could say perspective or phenomenon for certain people. Because of course, like I said, the reaction your body and mind gets after you finish is different for everyone. For example, I believe it was Mike Tyson fight. For example, a lot of fighters will go the month even or just a few weeks before they have a huge fight without jerking off. So the theory behind this is since our sexual energy is so powerful, right? That urge to have sex when you have it, it's like you just want to do it. It's like the most urgent thing that you just want to do, right? It just comes at you and you're like, okay, let's do it. And so the philosophy behind this is if you can use that energy, not release it sexually, but if you can, there's this concept called sexual transmutation. You can achieve it through meditation, through different exercises, different outlets, bringing that energy up and using it for mental creativity, focusing on different activities, stuff like that. And so for fighters, for example, they would not have sex or jerk off for an extended period of time before their fight, and in their experiences, they would have better results. They feel more masculine, have more energy, and stuff like that. Which, obviously, like I'm saying, this is different for everyone. I'm curious to hear what you think about that, because it seems like from your perspective, you can do it, let's say, 3-4 times a day, and still have all that energy within you.
Yeah, see, I got something wrong with me now. Like, hearing you say that, because the thing is, like, I don't know, man. Like before a performance, if I couldn't have sex or jerk off, then it just wouldn't be the same. Like, you know what I mean? The reason I like to do music and be out there as an artist is so I can have a lot of sex. And so I could like, I mean, if you think about it, right? Everything we do kind of revolves around pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Or we get money so we can be comfortable, we can be happy, we can, our instant gratification, right? Whatever we want, we could get when we want it. But 9 times out of 10, you're doing everything you're doing
for sex.
For sex. And like, if I restricted myself from those kind of desires, like at any point, if I restricted myself from those kind of desires, I probably would tweak out. Like, and like, all right, like I had a time where I couldn't have sex. I was all sad, right? So even at that time, I was like jerking off a lot, like excessively. There's never been a time I ain't nut. Since the first time I came was like, I was like 9 years old. Since that day, I think the longest I went without nutting is like not even a full 24 hours.
Are you curious to see, have you ever thought or been curious to see what life, like if it would be different if you didn't do it for, let's say, a week?
I got this friend. His name is Rich, right? And he's always having these bright ideas. And there was a period of time, like me and Rich, I got really mad at Rich, like really mad. And it was a few reasons why I got mad at Rich, but this is what really bothered me. He wanted to do a project, right? And I just dropped this, like I was having success with Respectfully Toxic at the time, right? When Respectfully Toxic took off on TikTok, I got so much pussy. Like, old ladies, like, all type of shit. Like, it was models coming to the studio, teachers, therapists. It was cool, bro. I never got that much pussy in my life. This guy, he's like, yo, we should do an album called Sex Addict. In my head, I'm like, bet. Then he's like, yo, Jahmez, what you should do is not have sex or do anything sexual for 2 months. I looked at this man and I said, fuck that. Like, I don't care about the creativity. Because, like, the thing is, right, it's just like, bro, that's like, might as well just kill you. I'm even miserable. Like, I'm pretty fucking, like, sad, bro. I'm getting sad right now thinking about this shit. I'm thinking about it.
In terms of,
I couldn't do that, bro.
yeah.
I really could not do that. Like, I'm thinking about, I couldn't, because, like, alright, recently I stopped smoking weed, and I chilled out on drinking, right? I haven't smoked weed for 2 months now. If I couldn't have sex, I'll hurt somebody. Like, I probably would just, like, and don't get me wrong, sometimes, like, I'll go a couple of days without having sex now, because, like, now I have, like, more, like, access to, like, women. You know what I mean? And it's like, I go time without having sex because I have a comfortable sexual situation.
Right.
So I could go a couple of days without having sex.
So you know it's gonna be there.
Right. But I still jerk off. And if I wasn't doing that, there's too much other shit in life going on to make you sad. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe like going online seeing a bad comment doesn't bother me right now. Maybe that should make me want to jump off a bridge if I see it. Because, you know, I'm very emotional too. So, like, that also is what helps. Like, I don't think I could have quit smoking if I wasn't fucking so much.
Was there a different amount of sex you were having before you quit weed, and then now it's like more sex, less weed? Or?
No, I think the sex, like, it was just the weed, like, weed sex was hard to quit. Like, well, high sex is hard to quit. So, alright, I did it like this, right? I replaced high sex with drunk sex. And then in my brain, being drunk, I don't like having hangovers. So it was like, and also when you have drunk sex, sometimes your dick don't work. Like, I was in this dorm room with these girls in Rutgers. And we didn't even wind up fucking the girls or nothing like that. But what had happened was, like, we were all just fucking around, whatever. That girl was playing around. It was just the homies and some bitches, right? Yeah, well, they're not bitches, they're women. Apologies. But it was one of them situations where we were drinking Taylor Port, and before we went into their room, my friend had made a joke. He was like, "Yo, be careful off Taylor Port because you might get ED. Dick might not work." So the whole time, as the more drunk I got, that was just in my head, and I kept going in the bathroom looking at porn, trying to get hard, and I couldn't get hard, bro. I was scared as fuck, and it was like. You know what it was? I just thought about that whole day and forgot exactly what I was talking about. Like that was like one of the most scariest feelings in the world.
Yeah,
bro. That's a scary feeling. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the technical term what people call blue balls. I don't know what like the sciencey, if that's a sciencey term for it or not. I've only experienced that like one time.
Yeah.
I was obviously it was a different situation than this, but I was pretty horrified because. I just felt like my body I wasn't in control of anything. And it's like, well, this is a normal occurrence for, my body to react this way. It's like, it's just not. And it's like, well, what's wrong with me? Do I need to go to the hospital? And so it's just like, it's freaky.
And it fucks with your confidence too. I'm telling you, I know this guy, I can't even say that. I'm not gonna say that shit, that's fucked up. But, that shit fucks with your confidence. And if you don't that day, bro, that day, I was like, that was a nightmare, bro, because I was in the bathroom really trying to get hard. And then luckily, this artist I was with, we had just did a tour, where we were getting ready to go on tour. He, had a little tweak out moment, so we had to leave. And it saved my life. Because I don't know if I could come back from being on the bed with two bitches that's stripping with my music playing, want to fuck me, and I'm looking down and I'm like, shit ain't working. I don't know if I could do that. Right. But that's why I like records though. You have moments like that in records. I don't know how. Do you have moments like that in records?
No, I don't even. At the time of this recording, since my last partnership, I don't get with anyone. I'm the type of guy to just be disciplined, focus on myself. I'm not ignoring
I love
girls.
that for you. I love that for you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just I'm all about the self growth and just going all in on that type of stuff. And I recently started coaching, kind of life coaching, so developing that.
Would you ever do that swinger shit or not? It's not your vibe.
What do you mean?
Threesomes and group sex.
I never. No, never. And it doesn't really cross my mind. I mean, I suppose.
How old are you?
20.
See, say 38-ish, 45. Probably getting some crazy freaky shit if you stay with the girl you're with. Cause I know this old lady that I used to fuck.
Questions?
What it is me and my partner are gonna fuck her soon. So it's but she's into that swinger shit. They be having these parties on islands and shit. It's crazy, bro. But it's literally for people like yourself. It's yo, I'm loyal to a woman, whatever case may be. I'm gonna go to this party. And then it's for girls that are vicarious, that is other parties, but I'm more so for, you know what I mean? Right. Touching topics, but.
Yeah, no, I've never been involved in any of that. Don't really plan on doing it. To transition a little bit into the more musical side of things.
Yeah. I mean, sex is kind of music though, if you think about it.
Definitely plays a role.
A lot of my music is, sexual based because I don't really make songs about shit that I don't experience. So that's why a lot of people yo, why don't you get away from the whole sexually toxic thing, or why don't you rap about this, rap about that? It's I can't. Nah, I just because when I'm rapping or I'm making songs, it's kind of I'm just kind of that's my outlet.
No, that was a good point. I was gonna ask, the creativity for it. Creative outlets are different for everyone. Do lyrics just you go in the studio that you're like, hey, putting on the headphones, so this is just flow? Do you need to write things down before? How does all of it work? How's your process?
That's just some shit that changes every couple weeks now at this point. The basis of my process is my mentor, right? Sometimes we'll have these days where he'll yell at me and say, you ain't got no records. So then whenever I hear some shit like that, I'll go in the studio and I'll try and be Drake. It never works out that way when I try and do it that way. A lot of the times, I just either get done fucking, or I want to fuck and I can't fuck at the moment, or I just get done jerking off, or I had a long day, or I actually have something I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm a procrastinator and I'm trying to distract myself from doing it because I self-sabotage. So a lot of the times, the caliber, what kind of song I'm making relies on the instance that it starts, and then that affects my process. So sometimes I'll start with the melody first, and then throw auto-tune on it, and then crank the auto-tune all the way up, and then I'll piece together words. Sometimes I write on a piece of paper. Sometimes I'll like right now, we could be talking, you could just see me looking at my phone, I'll just be saying shit, because I won't be able to say it to you. Mm-hmm. So I'll do this not cowardly kind of thing, more so fuck this, fuck that, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then what I'll do is I'll just go back later and then take some of that, put it over top of my melodies. And then sometimes traditionally I'll just sit in the studio, listen to a beat, and actually just type in my notes and just Rarely I'll freestyle a song. I normally freestyle songs when I'm high, so I haven't been doing that lately. Mm-hmm. I may try it again in the future, sober, but I don't know if I don't even want to say that on an interview. I think at this stage in my life, I don't know if I'm gonna smoke weed again. But I think after, I don't know, weed was a big part of my creative process, till it wasn't. And in the beginning, it was never, because I didn't really smoke or drink until I got to college. So I'd say I started really dabbling in music, around 11 or 12. I was a rapper by the time I was 16. That's when all the high school mixtape shit was going on. And my process is kind of going like this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right now, though, I've been I'll lay some melodies down, I'll hear a cool beat, whatever the case may be, and I'll just write to it. I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of like a clusterfuck. I'm always all over the place, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm a madman. I'm very not focused on shit. So mm-hmm. It's I'll have a couple of things at all times just floating around in my head, and it's like this. So, of course,
there's pros and cons to that. Anyone who would say I'm struggling with overthinking this and that, it's everything has its pros and cons. It's overthinking, for example, has its pros and cons. Cons might be, I feel like I can't turn my brain off, but it's also, the positives could be, I'm mentally creative all the time, because I always have something to say, or I always have something to write down and think about this, right? And with that type of stuff, whenever we're dealing with anything that we could say is primarily negative, of course we can try and cut it out of our life, but also in the time that you're experiencing it, take the positives and use them.
Yeah. See, I think that's what I've been trying to focus on nowadays, is just taking all the fucked up shit in here and kind of just piecing it out. And I'm lucky to have a support system of people that put up with my bullshit. And I feel now there's enough people around me that know my bullshit, that can sense my bullshit, that don't accept it, but still love me genuinely as a person, that's going to work with me through my bullshit. And that's what I'm trying to do now this year, 2024, working through the bullshit.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then to those people, that's the unconditional love. Everyone's always comparing, does this person love me unconditionally? Is it conditional? Do they only love me because I do this for them? It's the way you're describing it, you may do something that they don't like, or whatever the case is, they're still there for you. And those are the people that we need to keep around us. And
hell yeah. But that's a good question though. Is it conditional or unconditional? Meaning you ever wonder if you love yourself conditionally or unconditionally?
I haven't. That's a very good question.
I've been thinking about that shit lately because I always think about like, yo, people love me conditionally. I don't feel like anyone could love me unconditionally because I'm fucked up. I do some fucked up shit. So I don't really feel as though from the exterior that anybody would really love Jahmez unconditionally. I feel like me as a human being is different than, let's say, Jahmez.
But well, wait, before you even go, what do you mean by that difference between you and a human being and Jahmez?
Like, okay, so, right, the Jahmez that you see, right? There's a Jahmez that when people go on MTV, YouTube, internet, whatever the case may be, they'll see this guy with dreads doing all this shit. I know that Jahmez because in my head, I create that Jahmez, and I live through the eyes of that Jahmez. But when I'm sitting down in my bed or fucking, that's a different person. Because like meaning like the Jahmez that did fuck rules or the Jahmez that they respectfully toxic, they're two completely different people at different time periods, but they both exist in a constant digitally. So it's like that person, I think it's impossible to love that person unconditionally because that's just like, I mean, sometimes I still begin to know who that is. And I think like, do I love that person is like the stage of life that I'm at right now. It's like, yo, I've had all these experiences. I've been on tour 3 times. I've had tons of different business ideas that I've actually executed, seen through, and then because of my ADD, I switched to something else, whatever the case may be. So I've seen, like, I've had like hella chances in the entertainment industry that most people don't even have one time. And it'd be like, now I'm like, I have to love the person that I'm pushing now. Because a lot of times I would push a person that I'm getting to know. Because I'm experiencing the shit for the first time. Like my first tour, bro, all I did was fuck, get high, and go to the next date. And it was one of the best times of my life. I wouldn't change nothing about it, except I probably would have pushed my music harder. But outside of that, like, I've seen some crazy shit. But in the same token, that's not the person I am today. But that's the person that the people that seen those shows will only know, and they will associate that with Jahmez. So it's like, how the fuck do you love something that's constantly becoming something? You know what I mean? So that's why I asked you the question, because it's like, yo, do you love yourself unconditionally, or is like, do you need certain things in your life set to love yourself? Like, you're not, as a human, we're not taught to love ourselves unconditionally. So how can we expect other people to? Like, you're not gonna love, okay, you're in college and you're working towards something. You don't love where you're at, you love where you're trying to go. But the fucked up part about it is, when you get to where you're trying to go, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be trying to go somewhere else. So do you love that? Do you love yourself unconditionally, or are you just waiting to see the next reason why you should keep waiting to love yourself for real?
Right.
And it's like, I'm kind of like at the crossroads. It's like, well, not do I say fuck this shit, but like, do I more so say like, okay, I love who I am, I love where I'm at, I love the people I'm around, so now I'm gonna build genuinely. Like, am I like gonna sit here and cook up a whole bunch of marketing schemes and take advantage of this person just to get here? Am I gonna come up with this, come up with that, just so I can get there? Or am I gonna be like, okay, I got this body of work, this is something I'm gonna do. I fuck with Brad, so I met Brad in line at Are You Hungry? You get what I'm saying? Yo, let's do an interview. Or do I sit down and be like, yo, let me save my money up so I can pay this person to put me on this platform so this person can interview me? It's kind of different for me. So, I don't know, I think that's really like some shit.
Yeah. Alex Ramosi says, you've already achieved goals that you thought would make you happy. And it's like, to your point, we're always setting a goal for ourselves. We get there, like you said, 9 times out of 10, we're just gonna make something else. And it's like, we're always chasing something else that you can never be satisfied with right now. And what I say about that is, keep setting more goals for yourself. It's amazing to keep advancing in whatever area of life. But we also have to take a step back sometimes and just, like, for example, we're here having this conversation right now. What we could be doing is be in our heads thinking about what we have to do tomorrow and this and that. But instead, I am, and you most likely are too, trying to just stay here, focus on each other, have the conversation. Forget everything else in your life exists at this moment.
Yeah.
So it's like if we can capture more of that essence in our daily lives, or just a practice you could do is like just taking 5 minutes out of your day to just take a few deep breaths, just sit here. And like this, I don't know if this sounds weird to you or not, but like some people would say like, oh, it's weird to just sit there and not do anything. But the way I look at it, I used to tell my friends this when I first got into like spiritual type stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say to them, I can look at this piece of grass and be grateful for it. They look at me, bro, fuck you, you're fucking weird, bro. What are you talking about? And I'm like, no, like I can sit here and just appreciate everything here in this present moment right now. And the way I think about it now so wholeheartedly is our future hopefully does exist, although life isn't guaranteed, of course. The past doesn't exist anymore. This moment that we're in talking right now, this is the only thing that exists. We can think about what's going to happen tomorrow, and what we think about may very well happen, or we could think about the 10 things that could go wrong, and they're probably not even going to happen. And then it's like, well, what's even the point of doing that? If we can, obviously, we're not going to live in the moment 100% of the time, but if we can try our best to do that more often, you'll be a little bit happier and just more content with your reality. There's this,
That is why I jerk off and fuck so much. Like, literally, like, I don't mean to, like, make it like that, but that's what it does for me. Like, I can't sit down and turn off my head. Like, I'm not going to, because it's like, every time I do that shit, then I just think about everything that's there. And then I'm like, so when I'm like, okay, Mike always tells me, right, he'd be like, well, you need to meditate. When you meditate, like, say, like, you look at a picture, right? You look at a picture and try and remember the picture and close your eyes and try and just draw the picture in your head and remember every detail about the picture. When I do that, the amount of silence that creates in my head, like, I'm one of those people that's scared of the dark. And that's when everything is, like, mad dark. Like, it's just, like, empty, right? As soon as that silence comes, it's, like, very soothing. And as soon as it goes away, it's chaotic as fuck. It's almost like I like fucking and shit like that, because when you're appreciating, like, say I'm appreciating this conversation, right? If my brain is thinking about appreciating the conversation, then I'm gonna neglect something else, and I'm gonna like for example, we're having this conversation. I appreciate this conversation. So say someone's calling me right now, I'm going to decline the call because we're having a conversation. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, if you really think very deep into it, which my brain does, it'll be like, well then that person, I don't appreciate that person, that person. Okay. So I have like this people pleaser kind of thing. So it's like, what you're saying, I've like tried to adapt that ideology mixed with like self-pleasure. And I felt like if you can align the two, then why I'm in this moment right now, I'm in this moment right now. When I leave, what's going to happen is I'm probably going to go get changed out of this event after this, right? I'm going to go shoot some content. Dino's going to yell at me for being late. You get what I'm saying? We're going to have a conversation. I'm like, nah, yo, we got all this shit going on, this, that. And lay things out. In my head, I'm appreciating like the movie that I'm participating in. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's smart anymore in 2024 to appreciate the fact that I'm in a movie. I think it's appreciating the fact that I'm controlling it. And it's like, when you look at the grass and you appreciate it, it's like, I would just say, you gotta almost be like, I appreciate this grass, but I can also break it. I could also take it out the ground. You know what I mean? Like, I can do something to this grass. Because if not, then I feel like it gets too quiet for me.
Interesting. Obviously, all of our brains work so much differently. So it's so awesome. Like, for example, doing the podcast, I love doing this because like you get to hear so many different perspectives and how we all view things differently. To build on one of the things you were saying before, that thing of, okay, someone calls you right now, you're gonna decline it, but then it's like, all right, well, that means it's like I'm not appreciating them. It's like this idea of sacrifice. And obviously, a lot of the time we have the connotation behind sacrifice is usually negative. It's like, oh, I'm sacrificing this, but I don't think it always has to be that way. but life itself is sacrifice. Like, for example, every single thing that you do, this is like building on what you're saying, every single thing that you choose to do with your life, when you're doing that, you're neglecting something else. It's like us sitting here right now, we're both choosing to take time out of our days to do this when we could be doing anything else, but we're here right now. And we made that decision. It's like, that's the free will aspect of life, you could say. And it's very interesting because, I mean, obviously everyone will always, people debate whether free will is a thing or not. To build on like that type of concept, there's something that I've been diving into a lot recently. It's the concept of the subconscious mind, which is the part of your brain, arguably 95% of what's going on in your life is as a result of that. So this is like your childhood experiences, everything your parents said to you when you were younger. It's like the science behind this is from around the ages 0 to 7, right when you're born to 7. You're in a different brain state and you're kind of just downloading information. Like obviously if we think back to memories from when we were 3 years old, it's difficult to do because we weren't really aware of things like we are now. Yeah. And it's like 5 years from now, someone goes, "Hey, John, you remember you had that podcast with Brad?" And you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." It's hard to remember things from year 3 because you weren't in that conscious state of us. I know I'm moving my hands right now. It's kind of like that. You have no idea who you are now. You have no idea who you are in that moment. And it's like there's no concept of what a human being even is, or everything's new to you, right, when you're born. And so this idea of the subconscious mind is you get programmed with all these different things. And I like to use the example of how all this stuff affects our life now because we have this programming put within us, and now I'm 20, you're 25. All of that information is still within us, right? There's things that have been rewired along the way, and we have different experiences, but ultimately a lot of that stuff sticks with us. I use the example of like, a lot of us may think, I don't feel like I'm good enough, for example. There wasn't a point in your life where your brain, you had a good time, and then your brain just woke up and you were just like, oh, yeah, we don't feel like we're good enough. It was as a result of, maybe you could find the root cause of it, maybe sometimes you can't, but the general concept of this, of example I can give is, every time you were 12 years old, when you came home and you got less than an A+, your mom would say, "Oh, John, you're just not good enough." Yeah. And it's like, I said 12, where you might be a little more aware at that point, let's say 7. This stuck with you, and now it affects you still.
The awareness for me, and I might be crazy, I might be a narcissist, well, I'm a narcissist, but like, for me, it's like, I was a person, because it's crazy, when I was driving up here, because we were in traffic, it was like, I was listening to every stage of music of my career, right? And it's like, as I listened to the music and heard myself, I heard the person that was making the song, a different person each step, right? But for me, it's like, my brain, first of all, I feel like I shift dimensions every 3 months, which is fucked up. It's like, at first it was a joke, but now it's like my reality. Because it's like, as much as everyone says what they say, right? I do not in my life ever remembering there be a February 29th. I know there's a leap year, but I do not remember no fucking February 29th. I don't think I've ever experienced that. So, that was one thing. Then the other thing, it's like, I put it this way. Say we were friends this year, right? I remember you next year. I remember you 10 years from now. I'm not gonna remember our friendship. Like, I remember, like, there's people, think about, like, people in high school, right? You went to school, all these people in high school. When you were in high school, you know all the drama, all this shit going on with these people, right? You don't remember if Ashley fucked Jim. You really don't. You just know that Ashley and Jim existed. You don't remember if they were good at sports, what their grades were, nothing. And it's like, for me, that would be, and that's from talking to people, that would be one thing. But I literally sat down, my little brother would show me his Snapchat memories, right? And I had a period of my life where I didn't get to be home that much because I was doing the music shit. And he showed me like his first homecoming and shit like that. And like first day of schools and memories and shit that I was actually in. I have no idea. I remember we were going to your show and like seeing shit from a different perspective. I'm like, bro, the only thing I remember about that show is that it happened in the recap. I don't remember who the sound guy was. I don't remember who the DJ was. I don't remember, and it's not because I'm forgetting the people, but it's like my brain is always on what's happening right now. It's never like, because when I sit back and think about what happened last year or last week, then I get content because a lot of people be like, yo, like 2 weeks ago my company won a fucking Grammy. So it's like, if I thought about that shit, like 13-year-old me would be hype as fuck doing a Grammy. Right now, everyone keeps saying, Jahmez, you downplay everything you do. I'm not downplaying it. I know I'm doing big shit, but it's like I've wired my brain to constantly want more. So it's like in my life, I don't really get to like do what you're saying. Like I don't get to, like when I think back to high school, I just remember I went to high school. I can name you 4 people in my high school class. I can name 4 people from the first group of people that I started music with, because it's like everything moves so quick. And I think with AI, with computers and stuff like that, with the way society's going, social media trends, it's like we're the last group of people that are going to have that. Like if you think back to this, and I think spirituality is getting altered, and that's why I really feel like I'm in a different dimension. Because, bro, when's the last time you heard February 29th? Everyone says, oh, it's a leap year. That's everyone's excuse. Like, I was in the office the other day. I was like, oh, I'm like, no, it's a leap year. I'm like, okay, cool. Leap year is what, every 8 years? Something like that? Every 4 years?
I don't even know.
Yeah. I'm 25 years old. I've never experienced February 29th, like, ever. Like, I don't remember 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I was in college fucking bitches. Like, and I'm pretty sure when I was in college fucking bitches, February 29th would be something I remember. I remember Christmas. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that if people aren't careful right now, I think that the world is going to become what people say it is. And I know, like, in my head, I'm scared because my world is already like that. Like, I'm quicker to believe what happened when I was 20 years old coming from your mouth than my memory. Because to me, you're going to know more about when I was 20 years old, or Google's going to know more about when I was 20 years old. Like, if you think about it, right? This is some weird trippy shit. But, you know how you go on your Snapchat memories, right? Say 30 years from now, right? You go through your Snapchat memories, and it shows you here doing the same thing, but sitting on this side of the table. And I'm sitting right here next to you. You're not going to remember that you were sitting on that side of the table. You're just not. Because you're like, oh, I remember I did this interview, and because you did the interview, and because, oh, Brad interviewed Jahmez, anything in between of that, you're going to see it as that is what happened. I think what's currently happening that people are not paying attention to is that your mind is not necessarily what's telling you what's happening. Like our brains are strong, but technology has changed to where it's like, yo, who killed JFK? Oh fuck, let me Google it real quick. What if I just change it to James Prince? Like, what if I just go into the main section of the internet and just change that in history? My kids are not gonna know anything else except the history. And if you look at it, bro, I think, and I'm kind of like going on a tangent, but like that's where my brain's going. If you look at it, it's scary when you think about it like that, because then what is ancient text? Like, it's just written from one person's perspective. You know, I'm not saying that. I think that our subconscious is the key to always being who we are, and everyone has that feeling inside of them that like reflects who they are. Like, we may be sitting in a room and you may just can't stop looking at this girl, or you may be really loyal to your girlfriend. That is who you are. that's more solid than like where you are in life or your past experiences, because they're constantly changing. Like, and there's no proof of like, there's no,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, there's no like physical, there's no physical thing to grab.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of like these ideologies that people, that when I hear people speak, it's like I'll listen to them, and then like I'll apply them to my life, then I'll freak the fuck out because I'll be like, yo, what if this all just some bullshit? Like, what if when you were a kid, right, you were raised on a farm, but no one wants you to know you were raised on a farm. So now you're at a stage of like, okay, your family, your parents, whoever raised you, it's like you aren't raised on a farm, you were raised in the city. You were raised like this, like this, like that. That's what, and it sounds very confusing. So I feel like when I listen to this, I'm like, yo, I sound retarded. But I feel like the underlying message of what I'm saying is that you can't be thinking too deep into the history or what you have in terms of like what you can think of. You gotta kind of follow what you feel more, and like kind of like take sanctuary in your feelings versus your memories, because I don't feel like our memories are necessarily like, I don't remember shit about when I was 6 years old outside of whatever people tell me that happened.
Yeah. There's also this concept in psychology where for the memories that we do remember, our brain most of the time never completely gives them back to us accurately. So it's like, let's say, now I don't know if there's a certain time span on this, but let's say I did something a month ago and I think about that event as a memory 2 years from now. Whatever happened during that day happened the exact way it did. I might, when I think about the memory, and so you might say to me, hey Brad, you remember when you did this? And I'd be like, yeah, I remember when I did that. I remember we went here and this is what I said to this girl and this and that. But maybe that didn't actually happen. Not that we weren't there, but let's say the part of I talked to this girl. Maybe you didn't actually talk to her. Your brain thinks you did, or maybe in that moment in that day you wanted to, but maybe you didn't actually do it. But your brain kind of tricks you, quite literally, into thinking that you did, and you completely believe it because it's coming from your memory.
Yeah, right? Bro, like one day, right? One day in 100 years, there's gonna be little kids sitting around talking like, yo, it was this magical guy named Kanye West that walked the earth 100 years ago, and he did crazy shit, man. Like Jesus walked with him, bro. Like, this nigga literally had a listening party in the stadium and flew out of it. He just ascended out of the stadium. And he had his family, and he remodeled his house in the middle of the stadium, put his family there, he burnt that shit down. That happened. Like, and there's images of it. Looking at it now, it's like, oh, this was a show. Thousands of years from now, who fucking knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? I always thought, like, I always be making this joke, like, I'm gonna write some stupid shit on a book, right? And it's buried. Just write some stupid shit on a book and it's buried. It might be an ideology in like a million years.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, I'm not challenging, because I don't want it to sound like I'm challenging like religious texts. I'm not trying to be blasphemous. I'm just saying that everyone has like an internal subconscious that knows what the fuck is going on. Everyone should listen to that more than whatever the fuck else is going on. But it's like, that's like, I don't know, I got mad deep.
Yeah, no, so, I love that, man.
Yeah.
You kind of touched on like the spiritual aspect changing and shifting. What did you mean by that?
Like, you know, okay, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, right? I'm a figure, I'm a prophet. Like, I'm a lot of things, because that is, you ever notice, right? Imagine if I was recording myself fucking a girl on my phone, right? And imagine if I could take a portal, drop it, and go back to like slave times, like on a slave ship. I'll go two different places, like slave ship and then a plantation, right? And imagine I pull up on the slave ship, I see niggas in there all like suffering, like, damn, where we going, all scared and shit. I'm like, everybody calm down, look at this shit. Damn, I was on a plantation, going out in the field or going to talk to the niggas in the house, like, yo, bro, look at this shit. I just show them a phone with me fucking on my grandma. Everything about that, first of all, they would think I'm like the devil or like an angel. They would not know what to do.
Yeah.
They would think the phone's like some magical portal and that they're looking through a portal at me. And then if I flipped the camera and showed them themselves, they'd probably freak the fuck out. As soon as they would look at themselves, it'd be like a nigga like this, and they'd be like, and freak the fuck out. But no one's realizing we're on the same planet with the same shit, doing some spooky shit. Like it's spooky. Like it's not like oh, like this phone right now is any different than it would be like a million years ago. But it's like because our society is accustomed to us, bro. We're doing witchcraft every day. We're doing some shit every day, bro. Hopping on a train, hopping in a plane, like driving a car. These are simple everyday things to us. There's books that forecasted these things as the future. Like, yo, Apple dropped their fucking glasses. That shit is crazy, bro. Like, you look at Iron Man, like, you watch Iron Man like when we were kids, like little kids, like 6 years old. We're like, oh shit, Jarvis, and he's just doing this. Well, guess what? You can do that now. But because we're growing up in the curve of it, it don't feel like that. So I'm saying like spiritually, it's like it's not just us here anymore. There's other entities we've created. AI is a different entity. Like I have full-blown conversations with AI to get shit done. There's no person on the other side of that. It's artificial intelligence, but it knows me. I teach it. It's no different than a dog. So it's like, I mean, I hear what everyone's saying. Like I could just say, yo, this is an AI, or I could just start to say that, hey, maybe they've just created a way where we could talk to things, or maybe there are aliens, or maybe there's not. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying that it's spiritually, my spirit is exposed to other things that my great grandfather's spirit was never exposed to. So you can't like have the same spiritual rules, or right now it's like everything that's going on challenges religion. It just challenges everything. Like I was told when I was a kid, like you can't have a threesome, you'll catch something. I've had a lot of threesomes. I'm not clean. My dick is clean. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't want to sound like I'm on some like switch up other shit, but there's a bigger purpose than what we've been taught to focus on. And the purpose keeps going. Like I was a part of this conversation one time. I don't know how long we're supposed to go versus how we're not supposed to go. But I was a part of this conversation, and a friend of mine, my mentor, was talking to a preacher, right? And he made a really good point. He was like, if Jesus came here today, you wouldn't believe him. So a preacher who preaches Jesus. And at first, it was like, oh, it's a crazy question. But then think about it. If I say, hey, Brad, last night, my dog woke up and spoke to me. My dog told me to go down to the supermarket, talk to the first cashier I meet, female, tell her I want to go out to dinner, and to fuck her in the car before the dinner. After the dinner, I'm going to get $1 million. All I have to do is get you to say that you believe me and come with me and tell the female that she has to let me fuck her. And that female is your girlfriend. In the Bible, that's just a test from God. It's extreme. I'm using like very extreme things. But in real life, you're going to be like, Jahmez, what the fuck is wrong with you? But what if I'm telling the truth? And I think like when I see his thing to the preacher wasn't that like I just kind of did that, but it was a similar concept, and it's like well, damn, what if that like did the Bible ever stop? Because everything that the Bible says that's happening is happened. It's always been happening. There's always been these signs. But we could be at the stage of life where we're living in hell on earth. Like, we could be the last generation that could actually die, and then like everyone else converts their fucking consciousness to AI, and now they live on forever. Like, we could be literally starting the actual end of the world. Mm-hmm. Like, you could literally be living in the end of the world. Just like all the movies, if you look at all the movies, all the shit that happens in the end of the world movies versus what's happening now, it's literally the same thing. You got diseases. The next thing you're gonna hear is zombies and aliens. After that, you're gonna see people building these big ass buildings, like all the way up, things floating shit. We can be in that, and I think that like, I don't know, bro. Like, is that now? Like, are we in that? And if we are, why is everyone acting like that's just a movie or that's just something projected? Mm-hmm. Like, the Bible, the Quran, like all these books and stuff, they were just people writing what they saw and what they believed in, the messages they feel like they have to pass. Kanye West doing a recap video and flying out of the stadium is no different.
It's I love the way you explained all that. I mean, it's such an interesting thing to think about. And on I guess the more simple level, it's, well, I can say something, but it's another thing to get you to believe it. And then there's also the conversation that's a little bit interesting and kind of weird, is that to some degree we don't choose our beliefs. And it's like sometimes once we have something, we have it. Unless something drastically changes. I'll give this example. One of my favorite podcasters, Chris Williamson, he sat down with another podcaster named Stephen Bartlett. And Stephen Bartlett said to him, if I gave, it was some type of coin, let's say it was a penny. He said, if I put this penny on this table right here in front of us, and I said, Jahmez, I'm going to line up everybody you've ever cared about, and they're all going to die. The only way that they won't die is if you can fully believe that this penny right here is a quarter. And it's like, you must be able to fucking do it. Or do you think otherwise?
I think...
Like, could you be able to convince yourself that this penny right here was not a penny?
I don't know. You know why? Because it's the fact that you're saying this penny is a quarter. It's like, you already taught me what it was. Mm-hmm. And you threatening to kill everyone cannot unteach me. If anything, it's going to make me panic to believe whatever you're saying is true, because now I'm under the conviction of what you're saying, and you're in control of my brain. So when you tell me to believe that the penny is a quarter, I'm going to tell myself, okay, it's a quarter, but I'm not going to believe it because you told me it's a penny. So like, my brain would just be like, fuck. Everyone's about to die.
Yeah, exactly.
because it's like I heard you say the penny's a quarter. I'm like, but the penny's not a quarter. Right. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, the problem with our society right now is that we don't have a leader. The music industry's fucked up. Drill music's fucked up. EDM is coming to a rise. I like EDM. But everyone who goes to festivals gets fucked up. Like, the generation is extremely ignorant. I feel as though, like, you're either talking about killing people, fucking bitches, spending money. I feel like you're either online live streaming your life, playing a video game, or trying to go to school and come up with some kind of hustle or get rich quick scheme that changes the world. I don't see life any other way. I know this one girl that goes to college right now, and she has not chosen her major yet, and she's probably one of the sweetest girls. And I look at this girl every now and again. I just talk to her randomly every now and again. I'll be like, "The fuck is wrong with the world? Like, how do you? People don't even feel normal going to school to get a regular job. Because how could you? Everyone's an influencer. Everyone's doing this. Everyone's marketing. Everyone's got a podcast. Everyone's got a series. Everyone's rapping. Everyone's, So it's 7 o'clock. Damn. What are we kidding? Yeah, no, that's valid. But like everyone is pretending to be something. They're pretending to be what they think is success. So it's like, I guess I would end on, how the fuck do we judge anything anymore? Because most of the people that are successful are faking. It's like nobody's really doing anything. Even the award ceremonies are like fucking terrible. No disrespect to artists or like labels or whatever case may be, but who's the leader and who do we follow? Is it Jahmez? Should be. But I feel like that's also very narcissistic. Is it Brad? Should be. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like, I think what's happening is we're just creating all these little, like, sub-colonies, and it's like, I don't think, like, keep going back to this penny a quarter thing. I don't think I can convince myself to think the penny's a quarter, because it's like, now it's like, is it really a fucking penny? You know?
Right.
So, spiritually, what's flow state?
So flow state is essentially I describe it in music as, it's also in other creative outlets, but kind of like you can probably relate to it when coming up with lyrics. It just gets to this point where you're just going. You kind of forget everything else exists, and you're just in that moment. Everything's just flowing out.
Yeah.
Kind of like that creativity just taking over and just expelling everywhere.
Yeah, that's sex for me, bro. That's just like that. Like I've done studio sessions. Just like I call my girlfriend in the studio, tell the engineer he's just gotta deal with it. Like, yeah, I got fucking the booth kind of thing. You know, I just honestly, bro, I really appreciate you for having this long ass conversation. It was kind of like therapeutic for me too, because these are just thoughts I'd be having in my head. Like, I'm at a stage in life where I just want to be like I don't want to manufacture who I am anymore. I want to just do what I want, and I want to speak my mind, and I want to feel comfortable to do so. I want to put out, I have a shitload of music, I have a shitload of like things that I'm about to use to push myself to the forefront. I do business and music in a duality. So every day I got people telling me I should focus more on this, focus more on that. What Jahmez wants to do is kind of like whatever Jahmez wants to do at the moment. I'm not necessarily going to clearly say I want to be a rapper, I want to be a big entrepreneur, and I don't think anybody in the upcoming generation can really say that, because I feel like everyone has access to do whatever they want when they have it. So I think like what I want, what I dream to be, is the voice of the creative. That's kind of like
beautiful. Jahmez, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Where can people check out your music, your content, all that great stuff?
Everywhere, bro. Only Jahmez. If you type it in, it'll pop up. I want to make an OnlyFans soon too. I'm really working on that. Do something in a cool way, not just sex, bro. I'm trying to make it more than that. But yeah, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok primarily. I'm honestly been focusing on TikTok because I like cult like following the girls. So yeah, bro.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.